taking advice from somebody who comes from a failed homeland.
I'm not taking advice from
a failed homeland, and then you come over here and have an opinion. You don't have one. You don't have a leg in this fight.
So
you invited out to just sit down and just observe.
I've never heard Amira say anything positive about Black people.
What have I said?
And also, can I just say this?
Check this out. Let me just be very, very clear, because I'm Black as well. Okay. So what we're not gonna do, I heard, I'm a listener. I listen to people. I heard what she said, and I'm just telling you what I think what was said. Now you can look. We're having a conversation. We want to be solution based. Our whole point is here is to be a better people, right? So I took what she was saying to make us have a conversation on making us better people. So y'all not gonna put me in this. Oh, y'all, you taking the, no.
No, I wasn't. I'm telling you, you a better person. We don't need her to add to a conversation. You a beautiful Black woman. You educated. You teach children. You don't need her 2 cents to tell you what Black people say or what white people say. Because I've yet to hear her say what she said. Let me tell you what I know y'all not gonna want to hear it. I know they not gonna want to hear what I say, but when I'm in the rooms, this is what they say. They say Black people are lazy. We've been hearing that since our whole life. Tell us something else. Oh, I learned about R. Kelly. No one cares. So say something positive and beneficial or be quiet. That's period. I'm not, and we don't need people benefiting or taking up for white women. America does that enough. I think we'll be just fine.
Who's white?
Go ahead, Darwin.
All right, check this out. Let's set the tone. Let's set the precedence. First of all, everybody has been invited on this panel to give a perspective. So if your perspective may not align with the other person's, that's totally fine. If JR or any host of this panel didn't want people from outside speaking on a particular topic, he would have never invited her. She reserved the right because she was invited here to speak on it. Yes, she's going to have a perspective that you might disagree with. That's totally fine. It only got to be followed up with disrespect. If you feel like she's getting it wrong, you use that opportunity as a time to educate her. And if she don't receive it, you can't get mad at that. Maybe she don't want to receive it. Maybe she's okay with her perspective. That is totally fine. What we can't do is say that you have to be quiet on this topic and you have to be quiet on this topic. Everybody's been invited to be able to give their 2 cents on every topic, no matter what race, creed, gender, whatever the hell you are. You are allowed to speak on it because you've been invited here to speak on it. If we didn't want you speaking on it, you would not be here. And I'm going to tell y'all one thing about this that y'all don't understand. Y'all been hacked. When they come up with these topics that are blanket topics that don't even point to a specific problem, you're being hacked. It's hard to come to a resolution or a mutual understanding when we are not trying to resolve a specific issue. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm always asking to give me an example of what you're talking about within this genre of topic we're talking about, so we can actually resolve it. I guarantee you, 100% of the problems that people are complaining about in these clips, if we narrow it down to the specific problem, we can find the fucking solution. But we don't want to go there. We just want to keep talking about, well, they receive more than we receive. Okay, how many of them motherfuckers signed up for it? How many people got denied for it?
Oh,
we have to speak to a specific problem to get a solution. And if it is the case that, for example, the example Danielle gave about the DEI hires, that only 3%. If it is the case that they were denied, then let's speak to why they were fucking denied and start there.
Well, if I had to speak specifically to that, Bruiser, here's the reality of it. All of that shit was meant specifically for us. That's how it started. It was specifically meant for us. They turned it into DEI, but it was originally affirmative action. All that shit was meant for us. Everybody else attached their hitch to the ride, and they were able to benefit from something that was specifically designed for Black Americans. And then a bunch of other people came in and were able to benefit from the very thing that was meant for us due to our experience in this country. And then turn around and say, well, why aren't you getting yours? Because they're giving it away to you. They give it
a law. Is it legal Is it legal?
Right. They make
not keep it solely for black people.
No, what I mean by that is
Sweeney, DEI. Aisha talked about this weeks ago. DEI was not ever meant for black people.
No, I'm not saying DEI specifically. I'm not saying but the whole redress. When affirmative action was meant for black people, then everybody hitched their ride to the civil rights movement. Everybody hitched their ride, so everybody used us as a buoy to get what they wanted out of the country. They'd say, "Hey, look, due to the civil rights movement, we attach ourselves. You got to do this for us. Then you got to do this for us." And then it died. Then all the set asides that were supposed to happen in this country, we got overstepped, and we will start to be given to every single other group besides us. There is no reason why we're 13% of the population and only get 4% of the benefits. There's no reason for that other than a concerted effort to lock us out. That's the difference.
I want to believe you. I want to believe you, but
I believe black people made it about us. It wasn't never about us. It was about LGBT. No, it wasn't.
LGBT is recent. That is not.
You can't show. Sweeney, if you work in corporate America, you would know DEI was never ever focused on black people. When it rolled out at the company I worked out, it was about people with disabilities and ramps and being inclusive to all needs in the company. It was never a black person's face on DEI ever. We made it about us and said DEI is about us. It was never about us.
I didn't say
it was never about it.
Y'all looking at the specific term DEI. What I'm saying is that
you just said that everybody hits there.
Let me say what I'm gonna say, and then you can respond. We fought for specific rights in this country that's the whole reason why affirmative action was created. Then every other group came in, and instead of creating their own movement, they jumped on our movement and used us as a stepping stone to fast track whatever they were fighting for.
But see, here's a problem. Here's a problem with your argument, Sweeney.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm about to tell you what the problem is. If I see a whole argument. If I see 100 people and it's evenly spread out with multiracial, and I say, you know what, all of them motherfuckers are starving, and I toss a fucking turkey in the middle and say, this is for black people, have at it. Are you convinced that turkey is for black people when everybody in the motherfucking group have access to it and are hungry?
Y'all, you do.
That's not what he arguing against, though.
If everybody has access to it, it's not specifically for black people unless you can show me. Hold on, unless you can show me a law or a statute that says it's restricted to just black people. If you can't show me that, then it's not for black people.
We can't hear both of you at the same time.
I'm about to explain to you how. The reality is, before the 1970s, before the Civil Rights Bill, most people were to the right of the decimal point in this country. Any civil rights act, anything that was created due to our justice claim and our fight. And everybody who saw our justice claim and saw our fight hitched their ride to our wagon. They didn't create their own movement. They jumped on the civil rights bandwagon and said, hey, because of that group, because of the laws that was created for that group, you have to then do for me. I'm not arguing that anybody who may be harmed in this country shouldn't have something in this country. What I'm saying is when people come over here and look at black folks and say, why don't you have? The reality is that because we don't have, because they're giving it to you. And then they ignored us. They ignore us and give it to everybody else.
I'm not arguing against that.
So
my argument is that if you say that this is for black people, but there is no written line, no on black and white that says this is for black people. What do you think is going to happen when everybody start reaching for the resource?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, if that's the question that you asked, exactly what just happened. But
thank you. So my whole point is,
hold on, wait.
But black people are getting finessed into thinking things are for them when they don't even have their name attached to it.
And so, all right, fair enough.
That's why I use the word minority.
Think about how they dispersed all of the reparations. They had names attached to it. Any benefit that they gave for specific races or people had a name attached to it. These things that you're talking about be created did not have black attached to it.